11:30 podcast. It's Odie Breeze, baby. Dre on wheels. You know it. Now where you was when a nigga was messed up?
Where you
I
was
was
at,
on
man?
my ass. I was stuck in a tree. Ain't
Out
nobody
there,
help me
fucked
out.
up.
Ain't nobody help me down. I was faded. I was drinking. I was
nobody
popping
tell
the
me
molly.
shit.
I wasn't thinking, but I'm
Yo,
grown
what it
now.
do, everybody? This
So
your man
back to the
Dre,
basics,
aka
living my life
Dre
and
on
it's
Wheels.
okay.
Y'all already know what it is. This is the 11:30 podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to a new episode. If you new out there, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, comment. It's gonna be a good one, man. Share it. Tell somebody about the 11:30 podcast, man. For real though. But we got a couple of things we want to talk about before I dive into it. I got a new podcast. Yes, if you don't know, now you know. The 11:30 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling. Yes, for all my wrestling fans out there that want to join me each and every Thursday on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, YouTube. I'll be happy if you join me. The 11:30 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling, each and every Thursday, man. I appreciate that. Also, I want to thank everybody for helping me get over 400 subscribers. To get me over 400 subscribers, I appreciate it so much, man. Having fun. How y'all weekend was, man? How y'all weekend was? You know, hope it was great. Hope it was blessed. But yo, we gonna dive right into it, man. Hey, yo, this past weekend and this weekend here, we have graduates, you know, all across the country, you know, graduating, man. And it's not the typical graduation that everybody, you know, seems to be used to. You know, I remember, you know, I was class of 2009. I went to Dunbar Senior High School. Shout out to my Dunbar Senior High Schools. You know, if you went there, class of 09 though. But if you went there, you know, shout out to all y'all, man. But of course, man, the typical graduation, everybody showing up, your auntie, your cousin, the whole hood, you know, they yelling and you know how you. But with the coronavirus, this year, man, just changed everything around though. But shout out to everybody who were class of 2020 this year, that was going to graduate or walk across the stage and everything. Shout out to all y'all. I want to send a special shout out to my niece Anaya. She was class of 2020. She was a 5th grader. She was graduating from Neville Thomas Elementary School, going to the 6th grade. That's my baby girl. She's smart. She real smart though. But shout out to her. Also, man, yo, I remember, you know, times, you know, my senior year, you know, graduating, because I couldn't wait, because my oldest sister, you know, she made it look so good, you know, she was out of school and everything. I can't wait, man, for real. I thought the day would never come, you know, so that's why I feel bad, you know, sort of for this generation, you know, who's graduating in their senior year. It could be college maybe. You know, they getting little alternate graduations though, but not that, you know, special graduation though. But man, I couldn't wait. Thought the day would never come. But yeah, the day came, graduated. Like I said, from Dunbar Senior High School. We graduated. What was the graduation was at Howard, famous Howard, you know, University, you know. Cool graduation. And also, man, another thing, man, a lot of people if they were interested in anything like that, was the prom. A lot of people didn't go to the prom. Some people probably say, man, shit, fuck the prom. But hey, man, I went to my prom. You know, if you see these old school pictures right here, man, yeah, Mr. Johnson, man, was my man. You know, for everybody who knew me at Dunbar Senior High School, Mr. Johnson was my man, man. Gave me a nice escort and the clean whip and everything. You feel me? Looking all fly in my 2000. I ain't go with nobody. But I was looking fly though, for real though, man. But yeah, I remember that. 11 years ago, man. Can't you? 11 years ago. To the whole class of 2020, may God be with you, man. Welcome to the real world. And speaking of the real world, you know, for those who are graduating from high school, going on to college, I wish you the best, man. Just stay focused. Whatever you want to do, man, whatever you want to do, you can accomplish it. Just find something that you're passionate about, stick with it, man. Because I went to college. That's the thing. In high school, you're that senior. What college you going to? Did you sign up for a college? I wound up going to the community college here in DC, CCDC. I went there for about a year and a half or so, and it was cool and everything like that. But me, I'm more of the hands-on type thing. My field was video production and audio production and everything like that. So that was my field, and I didn't want to sit in the class and do repetitive stuff. 2 + 2. It was cool, but it just wasn't my forte. But things I took away from that times, both times that I went to a college, we had to do a paper, just write on the paper anything that you want to write, and just, it was a public speaking class. In high school, I really never did any public speaking, and so very, very shy. So doing this podcast, is helping me, but, like, oh man, you were shy? Yeah, I was very shy. But it was a public speaking essay we had to write, and the funny thing about that, man, everybody who know me, I love wrestling. Like you heard me say after podcast, 11:30 podcast. Yeah, talk about wrestling. So I wrote an essay about wrestling, the rise and fall of WCW. And I'm so shy. Everybody go first. I'm the last one. The teacher go down the list. It was like, well, Mr. Cherry, well, we haven't heard from you. I'm ducking. This 2 days in a row. People went first, and I'm ducking. I don't want to go. And then I find I'm going. But the thing about it was, the guy who went before me was nervous, so nervous out of his mind. So it was like, to me, I can't be that nervous as him. I can't be that. I have to outdo him. And not only I have to outdo him, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, not in my mind, I know for a fact that I'm not using the paper. I'm going to do something different that, most of the classmates who were in the class, didn't do. They were all using their papers and, just really, really, really nervous. So I wrote about something that I love, and that was wrestling. So, man, I crushed it. Everybody raised their hand, man. It was so cool, man. You did it without looking at, you didn't have no paper, you didn't have no notes, man, and that gave me the confidence, but it still wasn't enough. I felt like I just wanted to do something hands-on. I just knew what I wanted to do, but I needed someone's help, motivation, and everything like that. So, and then the second go round at Art Institute of Washington, in an English class, I did it again. So it wasn't, they gave me the confidence. But everybody out there, man, if you're going to college, man, pursue it, man. Knock it out the park. Hey, yo, man, PlayStation 5 and Xbox X Series is here. It's here this fall, everybody. Yes, the Xbox X Series and the PlayStation 5 will be dropping. And I know everybody done went crazy this past weekend, let off the memes, and was like, man, I know which one I'm getting. And yeah, man, because when Black Friday hit, I know everybody going to be rushing to the stores to get them a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox X Series. Well, maybe for the Xbox. But, hey, which one y'all gonna get, man? Leave a comment, though. Me personally, though, I know which one that I'm gonna get because it benefits me. I grew up, I had the PlayStation and everything. I had the PlayStation 1, 2, and everything. But once the Xbox came out, we got the Xbox, but we still had the PlayStation, but afterwards it didn't work anymore. So we were just using the Xbox, and I got so used to the Xbox and how the Xbox controller is set up. I've been using the Xbox for so long, but hey, I'm gonna roll with the Xbox. But the PlayStation 2 look fabulous, man. That junk look real fabulous. So, hey, man, I don't know, but of course they're gonna cause an arm and a leg. They can't have my arm or my leg. I'm already in a wheelchair, which, like, come on, man, for real. But yeah, PlayStation 5 and Xbox X Series, man, coming soon. Hey, you guys, man, here this week on the 11:30 podcast. This week's WTF moment. We don't just have one, we got two. But the first one is real funny to me, though. But have you ever seen or heard of cats getting brain freeze? those who have animals, everybody know that your animal, your dog and cat, always up in your face when you're eating something. So the cat was like, man, I want some ice cream. He got that, and stuck he was. But yo, we gonna move on to our next WTF moment of the week. Yo, man, a KFC woman asks for extra salt. Now I know I like my fries with salt on them, but ain't no extra salt. You know, black people already got diabetes and everything. But yeah, Brooke, a woman from Brooke. It seems though the last couple of weeks here on the 1130 podcast and the WTF moment, it always being a woman. What's going on though? But yeah, Brooke, who decided to treat herself to KFC in Western Sydney, Australia. Now, when it comes to our food, everyone has a different preference, of course. You know, everybody like what they like and how they like it, though. But Brooke went on to social media, uploaded a picture of her KFC order to Facebook, and it got a lot of attention, to say the least. Her chips got everyone talking. Brooke went on to praise KFC for the amount of salt they dropped. She went on to say, when I say extra salt, this what the fuck I mean. I want to choke on the salt. I want it to look like it's snowing. One person will go on to say, that's right. That's the right amount. WTF, bro. What the fuck?
Welcome to the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders Podcast, aka The Whip Show. Your co-hosts, Deshaun Whip Dog Whipple and Devastating Daryl Pace, each and every week will bring in some of the top pro wrestlers from around the world. I'm talking WWE, WCW, Impact Wrestling, NWA, and more. So sit back, get your favorite drink, and listen to some great stories told by those amazing and sometimes crazy pro wrestling superstars.
Hey, yo, welcome back here to the 1130 podcast, man. I want to give a special shout out to Zodi Breeze, man. I thank you for the music, man. They love your music, man. They love it, man. That's Zodi Breeze. Go ahead on YouTube, man, at Zodi Breeze. Check them out, man. I also want to thank Deshaun and Daryl, the Whip Show podcast that comes out every Friday. That's the Wrestling and Heroes Insider podcast, aka The Whip Show by Daryl and Deshaun, is available wherever you get your podcasts each and every Friday. Also, ladies and gentlemen, does your commute suck? Well, I have a solution for you. Check out Dean and Molly over at the Road Tripping Podcast. Each Wednesday, they bring you a show geared to entertain and enlighten you with topics ranging from trivia, history, true crime, the paranoia, and much, much more. All in the hopes that they can make your commute suck just a little less. You can find them on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or you can check their website at www.theroadtrippingpodcast.com and download the show directly. That's the roadtrippingpodcast.com. Hey, yo, welcome back into the 1130 podcast. Man, yo, Live PD, man, got canceled, man. You know, with all the crazy stuff that's been going on around the country, you know, with police brutality and police, you know, sort of war basically against, black men. You know, it's crazy, man. But A&E has canceled the police reality series Live PD as the debate over the role of police in the U.S. intensifies. It's the second police series to get yanked from the schedule this past week. First came Cops, the famous ride-along program that took viewers on a wild ride police chase for over 30 years, man. So, what's you guys' thoughts out there? Also, man, if I'm hearing right, did they cancel Paw Patrol too? Like, oh man, like the kids love that. My nephew loved Paw Patrol, not Paw Patrol. Man, that is crazy though. But Live PD, man, they had some cool episodes though, but man, they went in and canceled it, man. Hey, Black Lives Matter. Yo, we're gonna move on to our next topic, yo. Rashad Brooks, a black unarmed man, was killed by a cop in Atlanta this past weekend. An Atlanta police officer was fired early this past Sunday following the fatal shooting of a black man which triggered unrest and new waves of protest in the city of Atlanta. Rayshard Brooks was 27 years old, was fatally shot by police at a Wendy's drive-thru after officials said he resisted arrest and stole an officer taser. Man, this shit is crazy, man. It's getting out of hand, though. It's really getting out of hand. And to be honest with you, in my opinion, in this time right now, it is exposing so many racist cops, that it is, it's exposing, so much of them. And it's so many of them. And it's also, you got the cops who are good, and you got the ones who are bad. But if you're the good cop riding along with that bad motherfucker, you better shut your mouth, because you're not going to be working at this police district, anymore. You feel me? It's a thing going on. It's a code with them. But it's so fucked up, man. They got this thing, against, blacks, man. I just don't understand it. And you got people talking about speculating, defunding the police stuff. Like, it's so much chaotic shit out here, and I understand, yes, cop killing a black man, like, come on, man, they need to go get retrained. They, like, for real, there's so much money that goes into all these, policings each and every year, man. For what? For them to just kill us. That's crazy. They already putting all these monies into prisons and jails so we can be there. You feel me? They don't want to teach that. They don't want to teach us nothing. Just like I was saying in last week's episode, they're not teaching us nothing. And if they are, they teaching us what they want us to know. You feel me? And it's like a lot of people meaning defunding the police, like not paying them, but mostly, putting all that money that goes into policing, man, to neglect areas, the areas that haven't seen a difference, to go into education and public health and into the school system, into housing. It's a lot of homeless people out here, but $200 billion goes into the police departments, though. It's crazy, though. It's really, really crazy, man. And to our little kids, so they can have a future and teach them better, man. It's crazy, man. This world is so crazy, but rest in peace to Rayshard Brooks. And also, man, I appreciate everybody joining me here on the 1130 podcast, man. I appreciate it so much. Once again, everybody, I have a new podcast. If you didn't know already, it's the 1130 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling, man. It's on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, and YouTube each and every Thursday, man. For real, appreciate it, man. And don't forget to follow me. Follow me on Twitter at Dre on Wheels. Follow me on Instagram at the 1130 podcast, and also like the 1130 podcast on Facebook. And once again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and subscribe to the 1130 podcast, man. I appreciate everybody for joining me here on the 1130 podcast. I'm out.